there, very good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV1 for the Newsfirst, where the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanesan.
And I'm Theruni Karunaratne. Here are tonight's top stories.
Times on Newsfirst.
President pledges better future for Sri Lanka's farmers. Paddy procurement to begin on Monday at 143 collection centres. Committee on Public Finance Chief Dr. Harsha De Silva says cyber fraud, not simple error, caused $2.5 million loss. Human Rights Commission summons acting prisons chief and Valikada head jailer. Spain wildfires leave 11 dead, 19 missing. Gammadda delivers solution to water crisis at Gammadda Primary School.
The top story this evening. President Dissanayake says his government is committed to delivering a better quality of life for Sri Lanka's farming community.
The president made these remarks today while attending the commencement ceremony of the second phase of the Anuradhapura North water supply project.
The second phase of the Anuradhapura North water supply project is being implemented as a long-term solution to the chronic kidney disease prevalent in the divisional secretariat areas of Padaviya, Kapitigollava, Horopadana and Katagas Digilia. The project aims to provide safe drinking water to 67,000 households in the region. Funded by the Japan International Cooperation Agency and the Government of Sri Lanka, the project is being implemented by the Ministry of Housing, Construction and Water Supply together with the National Water Supply and Drainage Board.
Steady implementation of ongoing concessional loan projects is important in order for Sri Lanka to regain confidence in the international financial market. Therefore, I am delighted to see this project has been making steady progress in its implementation. Sri Lanka's economy has been stabilized thanks to the government's sound macroeconomic policy. Sri Lanka is now at a critical juncture to get back to the trajectory of stable growth. Atigaru, Janaripat, Tumange, Karunika, Sakabagi Tuayen, Mema, Uya Prutia, Sandha, Mulugala, Tabimata, Hakiwima, Ma Labana, Imahat, Gawadawayak, Ha Satutak. Mema, Uya Prutia, Saltakawa, Kriyat Maka Wadu Atai, Mama Avan Kawama Balapolotu Wemi, Tawada, Mema Wa Prutia Magin, Pradeshaye, Hatahat Dahasakata, Adika, Niwasa, Sandha, Arakashta Saha, Pirisidu Jalaya, Sapayanu Ata. Sri Lanka ve Atika Ha, Samajia, Sangawaldana ya, Sandaha, Japanaya, Sri Lanka Basamaga Ekwa, Katayutu Kirimata, Capacity, Bohomai.
The president also clarified the government's policy on paddy purchasing during the event.
We are intervening to the maximum extent possible to ensure that paddy is purchased from farmers at a fair price. During the last Maha season, we purchased paddy from farmers with an allocation of 1 billion rupees. During the previous Yala season, we allocated 600 million rupees for paddy purchases. Taken together, 1.6 billion rupees was allocated for paddy purchases across the two seasons. No government in Sri Lanka's history has allocated 1.6 billion rupees for paddy procurement across two cultivation seasons. Afterwards, we convened the Paddy Marketing Board. Even though 1 billion rupees had been allocated annually, they informed us there were insufficient funds to purchase paddy during the Yala season. Although the budget had already been finalized, we instructed the Minister of Finance to allocate an additional 600 million rupees to purchase paddy from farmers. That means the government will spend a total of 2.2 billion rupees on paddy procurement across the previous Yala season, the Maha season and the current Yala season. In addition, our storage infrastructure had significantly deteriorated. The combined storage capacity of the Paddy Marketing Board and Satoso warehouses is approximately 350,000 metric tons, which is not sufficient. Therefore, we renovated abandoned warehouses and restored facilities capable of storing an additional 50,000 metric tons. We have also planned to rehabilitate many more warehouses. The private sector has also extended its support. Several private institutions have agreed to provide their warehouse facilities free of charge so that government-purchased paddy can be stored. We are also allocating a further 1 billion rupees to facilitate paddy purchasing through the private sector. Why? Because we must ensure that farmers' harvests are purchased. If existing storage and milling capacity are insufficient, we have invited private sector participation. I believe that within this year, we will be able to commence a major paddy storage facility and rice mill in Mihintale through private sector investment. We also plan to establish a rice mill and storage facility of similar capacity in Ampara. Our farmers have worked tirelessly to increase paddy production to the point where Sri Lanka is largely self-sufficient in rice. However, we have still been required to import limited quantities of rice, mainly because the tourism industry requires specific rice varieties that are not produced locally. We have already instructed our research institutions to address this issue. Rice production has now increased significantly. We recently removed the relevant gazette restrictions because rice should not only be used for preparing meals. We must expand the value of rice and create opportunities for other industries as well. A mill owner may purchase paddy for rice production. Someone else may purchase paddy for the production of beverages. Others may purchase it for biscuits, livestock feed, and various other products. That is a positive development. We have prepared extensive plans in that regard. While a few groups continue to make noise, we firmly believe that the people stand with this government. We are determined to bring about this transformation.
ජනතාව ඉන්නේ මේ ආණ්ඩුවත් එක්ක කියන එක බව පිළිබඳ අපිට විශාල විශ්වාසයක් තිබෙනවා. අපි මේ පරිවර්තනය ඇති කරනවා.
The President also elaborated on the government's investments in agriculture and several major projects scheduled to commence in the near future.
අපි එනකොට පෞරසාන ආධාරයෙන් රුපියල් 15000යි.
When we came to office, the fertilizer subsidy stood at 15,000 rupees. Today, we provide a fertilizer subsidy of 30,000 rupees. Previously, compensation for crop damage was 40,000 rupees per hectare. Our government decided to increase compensation to 150,000 rupees per hectare for lands damaged by disasters. For the first time, we have also instructed authorities to assess losses relating to fruit and vegetable cultivation. 65 minor wavers were damaged by recent floods. We have already commenced work to rehabilitate all 65. We are not only restoring damaged wavers. Funds have also been allocated for major irrigation schemes such as the Huruluvava project and the Rajangane project. Many canals and irrigation structures linked to these schemes had fallen into disrepair. This year alone, we have allocated 2,000 million rupees for their rehabilitation. For decades, there has been discussion about launching the Lower Malwatu Oil Development Project, a project valued at 40 billion rupees. We are now moving forward with that project and have allocated the necessary funding this year. We are also aware of the long-delayed North Central Maha Ala project, which has remained incomplete for years. We are revising and accelerating the project to ensure that water is delivered up to Mahakanadarawa as quickly as possible. Harvesting has already begun in several of these areas during the current Yala season, particularly in regions dependent on minor irrigation wavers and rain-fed cultivation. However, harvesting has not yet commenced in areas supplied by the Mahavali major irrigation systems.
මහාකාන්දරාව දක්වා වතුර ගෙනත් දෙන්න සැලසුම් කරලා තිබෙනවා.
එකතු කරන ඉතාම සුවිශේෂී ආයතනයක් ලෙසින් අපි හඳුනාගන්නේ
Meanwhile, the Thambutthegama water supply project, constructed at a cost of 32 billion rupees, was vested with the public today under the patronage of President Anurakumara Dissanayake. The project will provide purified water sourced from the Angamo reservoir to more than 100,000 people across 42 Gramanildari divisions in Thambutthegama, Thalava and Galnava divisional secretariat divisions through 3 water towers. The project has the capacity to purify 18,000 cubic meters of water per day and store 1,500 cubic meters of water. The distribution pipeline network of the project extends over 158 kilometers.
Several intervening petitions have been filed before the Court of Appeal seeking permission to support a writ petition filed by former State Intelligence Service Director Sirasa, who is challenging his arrest and detention under the Prevention of Terrorism Act in relation to ongoing investigation into the 2019 Easter Sunday terror attacks.
The intervening petitions have been submitted by several parties, including Venerable Bengamuwe Nalaka Thero and Patriotic National Movement convener Dr. Gunadasa Amarasekara. The petitions were taken up before a Court of Appeal bench comprising President of the Court of Appeal Justice Rohantabe Surya and Justice Priyantha Fernando. During the proceedings, Deputy Solicitor General Suharshi Herath, appearing for the respondents, informed the court that the intervening petitions could only be considered if notice was first issued in relation to the main petition. Appearing on behalf of the intervening petitioners, President's Counsel V.K. Choksi, President's Counsel Manohar De Silva and attorneys at law Krishmal Varnasurya, Ashok Baran and others argued that the case had attracted significant public attention and importance, and therefore the petitioners should be granted an opportunity to intervene and present submissions before court. After considering the submissions, President of the Court of Appeal Justice Rohantabe Surya observed that the intervening petitions could be considered only after the completion of the submissions by President's Counsel Sanjeev Jayawardena, who is appearing on behalf of the petitioner. Accordingly, the Court of Appeal fixed the 17th July for further consideration of the intervening petitions in the matter. Meanwhile, the Court of Appeal today resumed consideration of the petition filed by former Director of the State Intelligence Service, Sirasa, challenging his arrest and detention under the Prevention of Terrorism Act in connection with investigations into the Easter Sunday terror attacks. The Colombo High Court has ordered that the case filed against 11 defendants, including former Central Bank Governor Arjuna Mahendran and former Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake, regarding the Central Bank bond scam is to be called again on the 9th September. The case was called today for the first time before a three-judge bench consisting of Judges Priyantha Liyanage, Viraj Veerasurya and Tilakaratna Bandara. The Attorney General has filed this case under the Public Property Act against 11 defendants, including former Central Bank Governor Arjuna Mahendran, former Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake, Perpetual Treasuries Limited and its board members Arjuna Aloysius and Jeffrey Aloysius, over irregularities that occurred during a central bank bond auction held in March 2016.
Former Minister Dhumendra Dissanayake, who appeared in court after being named a suspect in the case regarding the ownership of a gold-coloured T-56 assault rifle, has been released on bail. On the 19th of June, the court issued notice for the former Member of Parliament to appear before it again in connection with the ongoing investigation into the ownership of the firearm. Mount Lavinia Additional Magistrate Ravi Mathugama ordered his release on 2 personal bail bonds of 5 million rupees each.
Chairman of the Committee on Public Finance, Dr. Harsha De Silva, told Parliament today that the disappearance of $2.5 million from the Treasury was the result of a fraud linked to a cybercrime. Tabling the committee's report on its investigation into this incident, the parliamentarians said a notable aspect of the report was that it had received the unanimous endorsement of all committee members.
The principal conclusion, Honourable Speaker, is that there is clear evidence that a fraud linked to a cybercrime has taken place. The findings indicate that approximately $2.5 million of public funds were stolen. Whether the cybercrime-related fraud involved internal collaboration or a conspiracy within the relevant institutions must be determined through criminal investigations and law enforcement processes. It must also be established whether the officials concerned acted solely due to lack of knowledge, incompetence or negligence. The committee met on 7 occasions, engaged with officials regarding the sequence of events and obtained detailed reports from the relevant institutions. Based on the information provided through these interactions and documents, this report presents the events and factors identified by the committee that contributed to the cybercrime-related fraud. At this point, it should be noted that we received the full cooperation of officials from the Ministry of Finance, including all relevant officers, the Governor and officials of the Central Bank, the Chairman and officials of Sri Lanka CERT and the Attorney General's Department. The committee has determined that the risk of cybercrime-related fraud was heightened by the deterioration of internal control systems governing debt repayment processes, as well as weaknesses in email infrastructure. This was not an isolated oversight. by the result of failures in control procedures and operational processes across several institutions. A major control failure that aggravated these vulnerabilities was the absence of a predefined terms of reference document to guide the transition of debt repayment functions to the newly established Public Debt Management Office, along with existing procedural and operational gaps. These deficiencies include, but are not limited to, ineffective internal controls, weak information technology systems, and the absence of adequate procedures for escalating issues to senior officials. The committee observed that these weaknesses have historically existed within the foreign debt repayment process. Based on these findings, the committee has put forward several key recommendations as critical measures to prevent similar serious failures in public financial management from recurring. It is essential that the National Audit Office immediately conduct a special audit of the entire foreign debt repayment process. This should include prompt measures by the Ministry of Digital Economy to ensure the implementation of recommendations made by the Sri Lanka Computer Emergency Readiness Team, as well as urgent reforms by the Ministry of Finance to modernize the financial regulations governing public financial operations. The contents of this report are limited to the committee's mandate concerning the oversight of public finances. The committee's scope of authority does not extend to making determinations on criminal investigations or legal liability.
Two inmates have been injured following a clash involving several prisoners at Magazine Prison. Prison spokesman A.C. Gajanayaka said the injured inmates were admitted to the Valikada Prison Hospital for treatment. The Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka says it has not yet reached any conclusions regarding the investigations into the violence at Negombo Prison and the circumstances that led to the deaths and injuries of inmates and prison officers. In a statement, the Commission said it is currently assessing evidence, including statements obtained from inmates and prison officials.
The Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka's officers have observed that several inmates who were transferred from Negombo prison to other prisons had sustained injuries. The Human Rights Commission also noted that there had been delays in providing medical treatment to some of these inmates. The Commission emphasized that injured prisoners must receive medical treatment without delay and warned that any systematic delay in providing such treatment could amount to a form of retaliation. Referring to the refusal to allow Commission officials to access Valikada prison on the 7th July, the Human Rights Commission stated that the action amounted to a violation of the Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka Act No. 21 of 1996. The Commission further stressed that such action had seriously undermined its statutory authority to conduct necessary investigations into prison welfare, particularly when allegations and information relating to torture and other forms of ill treatment have emerged. According to the statement, although the Commission was granted unrestricted access to Valikada prison on the 8th July, the refusal of entry on the 7th July at a critical stage deprived it of the opportunity to conduct an effective and timely investigation into the allegations. The statement further noted that the Acting Commissioner General of Prisons and the Chief Jailer of Valikada Prison have been summoned before the Human Rights Commission to explain the circumstances that led to the denial of access to the prison on the 7th July.
Now, following the violence at the Negombo prison earlier this week, the Church of Ceylon has issued a statement highlighting the urgent need for prison reforms in Sri Lanka.
In its statement, the Church of Ceylon stresses that it does not condone violence wherever it may arise, adding that the reasons for the violence must be investigated and established. In the aftermath of the violence, the Church of Ceylon calls upon the government to take immediate and meaningful steps to launch a full and transparent investigation into the cause behind the violence, stressing that it must be seen that if any underlying criminal activity allegedly contributed to the fatal violence. It says that these incidents raise serious questions regarding prison conditions, treatment of prisoners, and guarantees of their safety and security, adding that the matter has already been highlighted by the Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka, which has pointed out that prisons have become a highly perilous environment for vulnerable prisoners. The Church also calls for immediate and meaningful measures for prison reforms, which will result in the upgrading of the physical conditions of prisons and implement procedures and protocols, which will ensure safe and humane conditions inside prison facilities throughout Sri Lanka, which will be in line with international standards.
Instructions have been given to organize special train services for the upcoming Nallur festival. The announcement was made by the Minister of Transport, Highways and Urban Development, Bimal Ratnayaka.
A large number of personnel from the Army, Navy and Air Force are using the warrant service to travel from Kankasanthuri to the northern province. They are entitled to 3 warrants per year, which they use to book tickets. Many of those travelling from Kankasanthuri to Anuradhapura also disembark after using these warrants. As a result, a large number of train seats are consistently fully booked, both during the special period of the Nallur festival and during regular periods. Can you provide a solution for this? And is it possible to implement a service that prevents seats from being fully booked through these warrants, thereby making more seats available for use by the general public travelling to Jaffna?
தடை செய்யறதுக்கு ஏதாவது ஒரு பெர்சன்டேஜ் பொதுமக்களுக்கு பயன்படுத்தக்கூடிய மாதிரியும் ஒரு சேவை ஒன்று வழங்க முடியுமான்றது என்னுடைய இரண்டாவது கேள்வி.
ගරු කතානායකතුමනි නල්ලූරු කෝවිල කියන්නේත්
Honorable Speaker, the Nallur Kovil, the Madhu Church and the Temple of the Tooth are the heritage of the people of this country. These are important places that should be visited by Buddhists, Hindus, Catholics and Muslims alike. Therefore, we cannot say that these places should be reserved only for a certain group of people. Regarding the railway, after Ditwa, we worked hard to reconstruct all the railway lines to the north. Currently, trains to the north are travelling at speeds between 100 and 110 kilometers per hour. For Nallur, just as we do for every religious festival, we have given instructions to provide special train services. However, there is pressure on the public due to issues like the shortage of train carriages and engines. It will take time to fix this, Honourable Member, but we are striving to provide the maximum service possible with the facilities we currently have.
උපරිම සේවාව ලබා දෙන්න බලාපොරොත්තු උත්සාහ කරනවා.
Earlier, the Department of Railways stated that the train service from Mount Lavinia to Kankasangthure will be suspended for 3 days, starting from the 14th of this month for essential maintenance work. Accordingly, it was announced that maintenance work will be carried out on the train travelling from Mount Lavinia to Kankasangthure on the upcoming 14th, 15th and 16th. The department also noted that the Yal Devi train service will also be suspended on the upcoming 14th and 16th.
Another Gammadda community project was officially opened today, bringing new hope and opportunities to children in Sri Lanka's eastern province. This initiative is set to become an unforgettable gift to the students of the Gammadda Primary School in Panama, Ampara, as well as to the residents of the Abe Singhapura village.
More than just a development project, it stands as a symbol of hope, progress and a brighter future for generations of children who will benefit from the new facilities and opportunities it brings. Here's a look.
Hidden away in the eastern plains of Ampara lies Abe Singhapura, a village built on resilience where hard-working families earn their living through fishing, farming and daily labour, facing life's challenges with courage and dignity. For nearly 600 families, however, one challenge overshadowed all others: the daily struggle for water. This is the Gammadda Primary School. For the bright young children who walk through its gates every day, carrying dreams for the future, the water crisis had become an unfortunate part of life, making even the simplest tasks a hardship. Determined to find a solution, the school's principal brought the community's struggles to the attention of Gammadda and made a heartfelt appeal for support. Today, that appeal became a reality. The water supply system, launched under the forced supervision of Gammadda, was officially handed over to the students and the community. Gammadda leader Shevan Daniel and Ampara Additional District Secretary S. Jagarajan attended the special occasion. Technical support for the project was provided by the Sri Lankan Navy. Blessings were invoked through Pirit chanting by Venerable Panama Chandaratna Thera, Chief Sanganayaka of the Uva-Velasa and the Gammadda regions. The project was made possible through the generous contributions of Devoshi Kure, who resides in the United States, together with family members and well-wishers. Also extending support was Bernadine De Silva of Kovala, who contributed in loving memory of her parents. Officials from the Lahogla Divisional Secretariat, Lieutenant Commander Nishanka Gunatilaka of the Sri Lankan Navy, Acting Officer in charge of Panama Police Station, Inspector S.M.J. Silva, Principal of Panama Mahavidyalaya Jayanta Padma Kumara, V-Force National Organizer and Assistant Manager Gihan Udyoga, together with members of the Gammadda team, were also present.
රටකට හරි මාර්ගය යනවා නම් හොඳ රජයක් අනිවාර්යෙන් තියෙන්න ඕන.
If a country is to go down the right path, it needs a good government. It also needs a good opposition. That is the political aspect. If we cast our votes once in every 5 to 6 years to elect the country's next leaders and then expect them to solve every issue and challenge we have been facing all along, we should also ask if that has happened in the first place. Then there needs to be a third party, a third force in the country, and that is the people's power, a powerful general public. This is where Gammadda steps in. Gammadda has served the people for 2 decades continuously, and it will continue to do so in the future as well.
The additional district secretary then shared his views.
A program such as this, where funding is secured and support is mobilized to address a genuine community need, is truly an example for all of us. On behalf of the district secretariat and as a representative of the district secretary, I would like to convey my sincere appreciation and gratitude to the Gammadda program.
Officials also noted that projects of this nature make a significant contribution towards improving the health and well-being of both school children and residents in the area.
At a time when the area is increasingly being affected by non-communicable diseases, this effort to safeguard the children who will inherit the future from illnesses such as kidney disease is invaluable. The commitment shown by the Gammadda team in making this possible is something that simply cannot be measured.
Representing those who provided financial support for the project, Shirani Abekon also addressed the gathering. We only contributed the funds, but it is the Gammadda team that makes the real sacrifice, working tirelessly and devoting their time and energy to turn these projects into reality. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank them for continuing this work. These are essential needs affecting some of the most difficult and undeserved areas of the country. The Gammadda team goes out into these remote communities, identifies their struggles, and works relentlessly to find solutions. For that, they deserve our deepest respect and appreciation. The principal also expressed his gratitude for the invaluable gift that has been presented to both the school and the entire community.
The moment we made our request, we received a positive and encouraging response. On behalf of our community and especially on behalf of our beloved children, we owe Gammadda our deepest gratitude.
On a day that neither the village nor the school will ever forget, the children proudly displayed their talents through colorful performances. This was the happiness of seeing a dream come true.
ගොඩක් ස්තුති වෙනවා මේ අපිට මේ ජලය ලබා දුන්න. ගම්මැද්දට මේ වගේ වැඩසටහන් තවත් ඉදිරියට කරගෙන යන්න ශක්තිය ලැබේවා කියලා මම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා.
ගොඩක් වටිනවා මේ වැඩේ.
ගොඩක් හොඳ සේවයක්.
At a time when even a single glass of water can make a world of difference to someone in need, the true value of a project of this magnitude cannot be fully expressed in words. For Abe Singapura, this is not merely a water supply project. It is relief. It is dignity. It is opportunity. Most importantly, it is hope flowing into the lives of a new generation. Gammadda, for the people, by the people.
Kylian Mbappe-led France has qualified for the semi-finals of the 2026 FIFA World Cup after defeating Morocco in the first quarter-final match of the tournament. The match was held in Boston in front of a crowd of over 63,000 spectators. From the very beginning of this intense match, France posed a significant challenge to Morocco. In the 27th minute, French captain Kylian Mbappe missed an opportunity to score via penalty kick. Consequently, no goals were recorded by either team during the first half. 15 minutes into the second half, Mbappe scored the first goal for France. With this, he increased his tally in the current tournament to 8 goals. Mbappe has now levelled with Argentina captain Lionel Messi as the joint top scorer in the current tournament. In the history of the World Cup, 39-year-old Messi leads as the all-time top scorer with 21 goals. Meanwhile, 27-year-old Mbappe has moved closer to Messi's record, having now scored 20 World Cup goals in his career. In the 66th minute, Ousmane Dembélé scored the second goal for France. With 16 goals scored across 6 matches, France currently stands as the highest scoring team in this year's tournament. With a 2-0 victory, France secured their place in the semi-finals, while Morocco was recorded as the final African nation to be eliminated from this year's tournament. 3 more quarter-final matches are scheduled to take place. Out of the remaining teams, 5 represent the European region. The only team not from the European region is the reigning world champion Argentina. The quarter-final match between Belgium and Spain will be held tonight. The match is scheduled to begin tomorrow at 12:30 a.m. local time in Los Angeles. The license rights holder in Sri Lanka for the 2026 World Cup are held by the Mariazelle Media Network. All matches of the tournament can be watched live on Sirasa TV and TV1.
Weather first.
It is now time to take a look at the weather report for the day.
Omitra Bekun brings us the details.
Thank you, Therni and Martin. Now, showers may occur at several places in the Sabaragamu province and in the Kandy and Nuwara districts. A few showers may occur in the western and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Madhura districts. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Ampara and Batiklu districts during the night. Strong winds of about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills, North Central and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Munragala, Putlam, Hambantota, Trincomalee and Mana districts.
The Stop Dengue Now, the National Dengue Eradication Program, continued today within the Western Province. The program is being organized by the Mariazelle Media Network, led by Newsfirst, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Mass Media, focusing on the Colombo, Kaluthara and Kampa districts. The team covering the Colombo district today engaged in awareness activities regarding dengue prevention in Valipillava in Kadwela.
Prevention is always better than cure, and that's why the Stop Dengue Now National Dengue Eradication Program, organized by the Mariazelle Media Network, led by Newsfirst, along with the Ministry of Health and Mass Media, is underway for its 4th consecutive day today. And right now, I am in the Kadwala MOH division, exactly in the Dadigamua Valipillava area. Now, Kadwala is a high-risk dengue zone. To be exact, the 3rd highest dengue zone, that is with the highest risk of spread of dengue in the Colombo district. So right now, a team of officers, including PHIs and officials from the Ministry of Health and Mass Media and Kadwala Pradeshya Sabha, and as well as Sri Lanka Army, Sri Lanka Police and media, all are here conducting inspections in the Kadwala MOH division, and steps are being taken to eradicate the prevention of dengue here in the Kadwala MOH division.
The team covering the Gammadda district conducted their activities in Ragama today. Another team from the Stop Dengue Now National Dengue Eradication Program visited Horana in the Kaluthara district.
Weather first.
Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now. Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now.
Veteran Sri Lankan singer and an icon in the local music industry, Mariazelle Gunathilaka, has passed away. She breathed her last at the Kalubovila Teaching Hospital this morning, leaving behind a treasure trove of songs that will forever remain etched in the hearts of Sri Lankans. She was 68 years old at the time of her passing.
You are my one and only one, and you're my
Mariazelle Gunathilaka, whose birth name was Shireen Margaret Gunathilaka, first picked up a guitar at the age of 7. Born in Nugegoda on the 11th of June 1958, Shireen was later given the name Mariazelle after her father fulfilled a vow he had made during an illness suffered by his young daughter. From then on, Mariazelle Gunathilaka became the name by which she was known, while family members affectionately referred to her as a walking gramophone record because of her extraordinary love for music. Her passion for singing led her to begin her musical journey as a child artist with the band The Midnights. Her debut song, Candila Missi, was released during the 1970s. That song ushered in a new chapter in her life, establishing Mariazelle Gunathilaka as an indispensable presence on Sri Lanka's concert stages. A defining turning point in her career came when she joined Clarence Vijayawardhana's Super Golden Chimes, one of the country's most celebrated musical groups. Songs such as Pahanno Naraka, Rahasai Soduru Jive, Yon Sihina Loke, Sihina Nelumal, and Mulurak Pura went on to win immense popularity among music lovers across the island. Although widely celebrated for her energetic and rhythmic performances, Mariazelle Gunathilaka's rendition of Kumaranane for the film Adaraniya Vasana stood as powerful testimony to the depth and versatility of her vocal talent. As one of the few Sri Lankan singers blessed with the ability to perform fluently in both Sinhala and English, she carved out a unique place in the country's musical landscape and earned the admiration of generations of listeners. In the early hours of today, that remarkable voice fell silent, leaving behind a timeless musical legacy that will continue to resonate through the hearts of Sri Lankans for generations to come.
For those who appreciate the beauty of art and the power of photography, a unique opportunity awaits at the Lionel Wendt Arts Centre, where two captivating exhibitions come together under one roof. Here's a glimpse into this celebration of creativity.
Art speaks where words fall silent. It is a universal language of emotion, imagination, and the human spirit. Through colors, forms, sounds and movement, art tells stories, preserves memories, and inspires us to see the world through different perspectives. Beyond creativity, art is a powerful expression that connects people across cultures, generations, and time. For art lovers, a unique opportunity awaits at the Lionel Wendt Arts Centre. A chance to experience a remarkable collection of works at Unbound, an art exhibition by Inage Deshan Fernando. Marking his first ever solo art exhibition, Unbound presents a collection of paintings crafted in his own distinctive style, reflecting his artistic vision and creative journey.
මේකේ මගේ ප්‍රධානම එක තමයි මේක මේ මගේ ශානර කීපයක මම වැඩ කරනවා. කරපු ඒ ශානර කීපයක එකතුවක් තමයි මේතන තියෙන්නේ. මේක එක ශෛලියකක නෙමෙයි. මේක ශෛලීන් කීපයක්. ඒකත් එක්ක නමුත් මේකේ අන්බවුන්ඩ් කියන එකේම මට ඕන වුණේ ඒ දෙයම තමයි. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ ගොඩක් වෙලාට චිත්‍රශිල්පී පෙළඹෙන්නේ එක ශෛලියකින් කරන්න. නමුත් මට අවශ්‍ය වුණා එතනින් එහාට ගිහිල්ලා කිසිම එක ශෛලියකට ගැති නොවි මට හැකි හැම ශෛලියක මම උත්සාහ කරපු හැම ශෛලියකින්ම නිර්මාණ ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න. ඒක තමයි මම මේ exhibition එකට මේ Unbound කියන නම දාගන්න තුන.
The exhibition will be open to the public until this Sunday from 9:30 a.m. to 7 p.m., inviting art enthusiasts to explore and experience this celebration of creativity.
Photography is more than just capturing images. It is the art of preserving moments, emotions, and stories frozen in time. Through a camera lens, photography captures the beauty of cultures, the rhythm of everyday life, and the unplanned moments that often become the most memorable. From breathtaking landscapes to human expressions, traditions, and fleeting moments, photography allows us to see the world from different perspectives and connect with stories beyond borders. For photography lovers, a unique visual experience awaits at the Harold Peary's Gallery of the Lionel Wendt Art Centre in Colombo. Titled Across Lands and Cultures, this photography exhibition is organized by members of the Photographic Society of America. The exhibition features 60 photographs by 60 photographers representing 20 different countries, showcasing a diverse collection of perspectives from around the world.
We do have the first PSA gallery show in 2020, 6 years ago, in the same building, in the same gallery. And then also in 2024, we have the PSA 2025, we have the PSA photo gathering in Sri Lanka, where 20 countries is also come to Sri Lanka to take pictures. PSA is actually about people. This is not only exhibition that showcase the photograph, but the most important is how PSA is actually connect all photographers around the world.
This is a follow-up to the PSA gathering which we had last year, where we had actual participants of about 70 people from 25 different countries coming to Sri Lanka and spending 8 days and traveling all over Sri Lanka, all photographers taking photographs. So this exhibition again is the works of Photography Society of Sri Lanka, Photography Society of America members, and it depicts a wide range of photographs.
The exhibition offers visitors a journey across borders and cultures, capturing the beauty of nature, the richness of traditions, and the stories of people through the universal language of photography.
Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now. Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now.
The guns have fallen silent in the Middle East after 2 days of deadly strikes between the United States and Iran as mediating nations attempt to get diplomacy back on track.
International report claimed that Washington remains committed to negotiations with Tehran and technical talks continue. To tell us more on what's developing across the world, we cross over to Krishan Devasagai. Krishan.
Thank you, Martin and Theruni. Well, yes, indeed, the guns may have fallen silent, but its impact on the world economy is still reeling and it is still unaccounted for. Well, shipping in the Strait of Hormuz has plunged amid renewed fighting between the United States and Iran, dealing a new blow to energy markets already reeling from the biggest supply disruption in history. No large vessel has crossed the strait via the US coordinated route while broadcasting their location since last Tuesday, with traceable crossings via the Oman-hugging lane effectively grinding to a halt.
Only 5 vessels were tracked crossing the strait on Wednesday and early Thursday morning, maritime intelligence platform Windward said on Thursday afternoon, compared with 45 transits on Monday. Roughly 130 vessels transited the strait, one of the world's most critical energy choke points, daily before the start of the war in late February. United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations said in its latest threat assessment released on Thursday that traffic levels reflected the cautious posture of shipping lines amid an elevated threat environment. Despite the latest turmoil in the region and the Strait of Hormuz, oil prices largely held steady on Friday following several days of gains. Brent crude, the primary international benchmark, stood at $76.58 per barrel, practically unchanged from its settlement price on Thursday and down about 2% from Wednesday. After returning to pre-war prices following Washington and Tehran's signing of a memorandum of understanding on ending the war last month, Brent is up more than $4 a barrel compared with last week.
In more news related to the conflict in the Middle East, now Iran's slain supreme leader Ali Khamenei has been buried at the country's holiest Shia shrine more than 4 months after he was killed by a US-Israeli strike on his compound in central Tehran. Now, Iranian state media reported earlier today that he had been buried in his birthplace of Mashhad at the shrine of Imam Reza, a vast religious complex with a large golden dome and flanking gilded minarets at the heart of the city.
The burial ceremony was private but followed a week of public mourning and processions that drew huge crowds totaling more than 15 million people and possibly more than double that according to Iranian estimates. One person apparently absent from the funeral events, however, was Khamenei's son and successor as supreme leader, Mojtaba, who has not been seen in public since the attack on the 28th of February that killed his father and signaled the start of the US-Israeli war against Iran. Khamenei's funeral had initially been due to be held in March, but was postponed as Iran was plunged into war. The official public funeral proceedings finally began last Saturday when tens of thousands of Iranians gathered at the Grand Musalla religious complex in Tehran, where Khamenei's coffin was on display. Invited delegations from Iran's regional allies, Hamas and Islamic Jihad from Gaza, Hezbollah from Lebanon and the Houthis from Yemen were in attendance. An even larger crowd gathered at the mosque the following day. At least 12 million people thronged the streets of the capital on Monday as the coffin was slowly driven on the back of a truck on a 10-kilometer procession to Azadi Square, the vast plaza in western Tehran that has served as the stage for the Islamic Republic's largest gatherings ever since the 1979 revolution.
We now have news closer to home, where ousted Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who faces a death sentence back home where her party is banned, told Reuters she and senior party colleagues plan to return from exile in India around December this year and surrender. The South Asian nation's longest-serving leader said she and members of her Awami League aim to return voluntarily to the country they fled 2 years ago and present themselves in court, testing Bangladesh's handling of its most prominent political opponent.
Hasina fled Bangladesh in 2024 after protests ended her 20 years as Prime Minister across multiple terms. The country's war crimes court sentenced her in November to death in her absence for ordering a deadly crackdown on a student-led uprising. She has denied the charges from exile. A return could sharpen political divisions in the garment export powerhouse as the government in Dhaka seeks to restore stability after 2 years of upheaval. On the other hand, it could improve strained ties with India, which deteriorated sharply after New Delhi gave her refuge. Bangladesh has repeatedly urged India to extradite her. Hasina, who had fielded written questions from news outlets but was not previously given an interview during her exile, said she has not consulted with any foreign government on whether or when to return. This is the first time she has set out a timetable for her return, said she plans to surrender, or said other exiled Awami League leaders would do so. Among them, former Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal also faces a death sentence. Reuters could not contact the other party members or establish where they were. Hasina was a dominant figure in Bangladesh for half a century after being thrust into the spotlight by the assassination of her father, an independence leader, and much of her family in a military coup.
And finally, in a headline-making story tonight, coming in from Europe, at least 11 people have been killed in a fast-moving wildfire that tore through a tourist area in Andalusia, southern Spain, trapping motorists in burning vehicles or as they tried to flee on foot.
Spanish authorities said many of the victims of the fire that broke out on Thursday and destroyed forests and swathes of scrubland in the Los Gatos area were believed to be foreign nationals, and 19 people were still missing. Spain has been sweltering in extreme heat, creating tinderbox conditions favorable for the rapid spread of wildfires. The head of the Andalusia regional government, Juan Manuel Moreno Bonilla, said 4 of the victims were traveling in a right-hand drive car. Around 500 firefighters, backed by Spain's military emergency unit, battled unable to contain the flames and search for victims. Around 800 people were evacuated, including nearly 200 to temporary shelters.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Primetime News on TV1.
Thank you for joining us. Good night.